Miss Grand India just crowned their new title holder for 2025, and the backlash was immediate. The new title holder's name is Vishakha Kanwar, and honestly, because of her victory, the allegations of a cooking show and buying the crown are all over the place. I don't know exactly what people were expecting from Miss Grand India, especially considering everything that went down this year between Rachel Gupta, Miss Grand International, and the organization of Miss Grand India as well. As you guys might expect, the national organization stands in a little bit of an awkward situation when it comes to Miss Grand International, so I feel like anyone who would have won this title this year would have received backlash. I do have a couple of observations that I would like to share with you guys. So we're going to react to this girl's full performance. I'll give you my thoughts and opinions as I normally do, and later on I'm going to tell you a little bit about my take on all of this, just my opinion about why things are happening the way that they are. You know what to do, go grab your coffee, your lip balm, and let's get into it. Forgive me for the music, this is all changed that there's no copyright strikes, but let's talk about the performance.
Vishakha Kanwar, finally, Miss Grand India!
Ooh, okay. So we have already here the introduction round of the competition. I'm going to say the energy is not the best, it's not at its peak, but it's also not bad, especially if you watch the other girls. I mean, some of them were trying to do the grand thing, some of them were trying to give, you know, like the whole fantasy and whatnot. It wasn't working so much, but I think it's just okay. It's not exceptional, it's also not terrible. If you ask me, I think that I would complain a little bit more in terms of the outfits they are actually wearing. The dress is kind of cute, but I don't get the thing with the black boots or the black shoes. Some of them have like really high boots, some of them have just like, you know, smaller, shorter type of boots, but I don't think it's flattering. I don't think it looks great on anyone, so yeah, there's that. I think it's kind of funny that we get to compare her side by side with this other girl who also ended up within the top 5 as a third runner-up, if I'm not mistaken. And for a lot of people, she was actually a fan favorite to win this competition. So I think it's funny that for the entire competition, back to back, they were the ones coming out. So it's like you get the straight up like the contrast between the two. That's pretty much it for her opening number. I would say it was okay. Just okay. Now we're getting into some of the special awards, I believe. She did one of them.
Presenting the award, the National Title of Miss Grand India, Mr. Rishi.
Okay.
Congratulations to contestant number 28.
Best in what? In evening gown. Okay, so I did check out her evening gown look for the preliminary competition, and it was pretty good, very solid. So you know, it might be granted as the gown was solid. I honestly did not watch the full preliminary competition, so I cannot tell you if she was the best one amongst everyone, but I saw her gown and it was pretty solid. I'm going to take a moment now that I see so many of the girls in the background, right? And I'm just going to mention this. It has nothing to do with her special award, but overall, I do have a feeling that it wasn't the strongest year for Miss Grand India. To be quite honest, as I said earlier, I didn't follow the prelims. I didn't follow Miss Grand India at all this year. So all of these girls, the faces, everything is news to me. I haven't reviewed this before. But what I will say though, is that I do think there are a couple of girls who are closer to the prototype of Miss Grand International than the girl who actually ended up winning. Does that mean that they necessarily had to win over her? Not really, and that's why I put together this video where I want to see her full performance so I can talk about not just her beauty and whatnot, because those are the superficial things that people will gravitate towards immediately, but I really want to see her performance. Like, how does she carry herself? Does she actually have what it takes to be a national title holder, especially for a country like India that expects so much of their queens? So that's the reason why I'm doing this entire reaction thing. Anyways, let's keep watching. Now we're gonna get into the swimsuit round. Very technical, very important. I will comment on the technique here. Okay, so let's take a look. You know what? The walk is actually not terrible. The knees are pretty straight. She does know how to pose. She does know her footwork. I mean, she has a little bit of attitude, a little bit sassy. And the body looks good in this particular bikini, right? Pretty solid if you ask me. Once again, was this like the standout performance of the night? I wouldn't say so. Just gonna go back so I can rewatch and comment again. It does seem like the girl did put some, effort into her preparation and her technique and just to learn how to carry herself on stage. So I'm gonna give her that, because a lot of people are talking about her like it is the end of the world for India. Like, they just picked the worst representative in the history of ever for Miss Grand International. And I don't necessarily agree with that 100%. I do think the girl has some potential in terms of her performance. Now, were there other girls in the competition that were closer to the performance level of Miss Grand International? Yes. Were there other girls in the competition that were closer to the prototype of Miss Grand International? Yes. As much as I don't like to comment so much on the girls' physiques or the faces and this and that, and I try to keep it like more on a holistic approach, we know that Miss Grand International is not a pageant that has so much of a holistic approach. They clearly have the 4 Bs, now 5 Bs. And of course, like the beauty, the body are things that are heavily considered there. If they are looking for that prototype, I do think that the candidate has some work to do, right? In terms of her physical preparation and whatnot, still working on the technique, still working on, just the presence on stage, because that's so important for Miss Grand International. You cannot go around it. Maybe she is okay in the other Bs. I mean, beauty, she's a pretty girl. When it comes, what are the other ones? A business, I don't know. Maybe she's a rich girl, or maybe she has a lot of sponsors, or maybe a lot of supporters. What's the other one? Behavior, that's the new one. I don't know, maybe she's well behaved. You name it. There are ways around these things, so we just have to kind of like check what are the elements that she can bring to the table. Again, swimsuit performance, not the best by any means, but also not terrible. I wish there was someone like to powder her face, because she does look shiny at times, and I feel like in the crowning moment when people were giving her a hard time, it's part of it because it got so oily that it's not so flattering under the lights. It's a decent performance. Again, the batch was kind of weak for Indian standards when it comes to, the overall like performance of girls and what you can expect from Indian representatives internationally. But again, it wasn't the end of the world. Now let's get into the evening gown. She's coming out with a blue gown. Let's see it. Already I can tell you, the walk, the way that she carries herself, like you just look at the hand movement when she's walking, and the way that she will push the dress with the legs when she walks, it's so Miss Grand International. So many girls do this at Grand for some reason, and I have seen it in other pageant systems such as Miss Universe and whatnot, but to me it's a very grand thing. So again, that is further proof for me that the girl kind of prepared specifically for this. When it comes to the gown, I believe that all of the girls at this particular point were sponsored by a specific designer who made gowns for everyone. So I can say that she looks beautiful in the gown. It's beautifully crafted. She kind of knows how to present it. Again, the performance is not terrible. Here, this is what I mean, like, look at how she pushes the gown with the feet when she walks. Here we go with the arms. Now that we are here and we have a very fitted, gown and whatnot, and I can get to comment on whatnot. Now that we know that she's the winner, she's a representative, and that cannot be changed unless something happens and the first runner-up takes over. The styling for this contestant will be very important going into MGI. She is not the tallest. She is not the fittest compared to the standard of Miss Grand International and what the other delegates will bring into the competition. Yes, she does have time to prepare, so this is not the end of the world and whatnot. But what I'm saying is that they will have to be very strategic with the looks, the fashion, and how they will present her. Already here, as I said, I feel like something taken away from this performance is first the makeup. The girl looks oily, looks shiny on stage under the lights, and the hairstyle. They gave her a hairstyle that's in a way kind of like it was okay for the swimsuit round. I don't think this is so elegant and so regal for the evening gown round. So it's the little details, the little, aspects that when you put them all together, you end up with the whole controversy and everyone saying cooking show. Let's see. I wish there was just maybe like a tiny bit more energy. Everything is so soft, including the facial expressions and Okay, so that's it for the evening gown. Okay, now we're gonna go into the first round of Q&A. So this is where we get to measure the other B, the remaining B, which is the brains and the eloquence, basically. Let's see.
Good evening, champ. How are you?
I'm great. All right, and now here's your question. What is one social crossing India you are passionate about and why? Okay, once again for the question. What is one social crossing India you are passionate about and why? 45 seconds.
Good evening, everybody. Hope you all are doing well and enjoying the show. Well, I'm passionate about girl-child education in so many parts of India. Girls are denied basic schooling. I believe that if a girl is educated, she does not just lift herself, but she lifts her entire family and community. Thank you.
She answered the question. She did. The delivery though, she needs to really be on top of that delivery, the flow when she speaks, because to be honest, again, we know it's not like a not smart thing or anything like that. The girl can clearly speak, she does speak English, she does understand the question, she did answer it, but the delivery and the flow of it, it was just giving so much hesitation, and like she was, whether it was memorized because it's slightly robotic, or the girl was just figuring it out as she goes, and then you can see the blank, you can feel like that blank space where she is thinking about what she's going to say next. And usually that shouldn't happen. There's no reason for that to happen on stage. You know what it's giving? It's giving teen pageant. It's giving teen pageant vibes. Again, it's not bad for, I'm gonna bring it up again because I think it's important to remind everyone, the performance per se is not bad. It's just giving a different level of competition. It's not like over the top, like Miss Grand International, like you would normally expect. It's not sexy, it's not flamboyant, it's not, any of those things. It's kind of very wholesome and toned down and very clean, immaculate, pure. So to me, honestly, it's giving a little bit more of a teen pageant type of performance than an actual, Miss Grand International or Miss Grand India type of performance. This was the first question. So now I think there is the statement round. So let's go for that.
Thank you so much, number 28. Now is your final topic, advancing women empowerment in modern India. You have time only 45 seconds. Ready? And go.
नमस्ते एवरीबॉडी। मैं एक सिर्फ महिला नहीं हूँ, मैं एक शक्ति हूँ।
I'm gonna get nosebleed.
और बदलाव।
This part I don't understand.
I am not just a woman. I am a strength, thought, and a change. There was a time when women were told to stay silent, stay behind. But today, we rise, we lead, and we speak. Today, I'm standing here not just for a crown, but for those girls who dare to dream big beyond limits. And let's build a world
It's the spaces.
where we can celebrate every day for women, not just a one day. Thank you.
Okay, you know what? I stand by what I said earlier. It's giving teen pageant performance. It's not bad. She does answer the question. There is substance in what she is saying, but it's just giving a level that, you know, the girl is not yet prepared for a Miss competition and that level where you're supposed to be, you know, really, really on your A game. So I also think it's part of what I mentioned earlier as well, is that, you know, for a Miss Grand India or for a Miss India, overall, like period, any girl who's representing India, the expectation and the pressure is really off the roof. I don't think the caliber, the level of preparation is yet meeting that standard, okay? And that's where the controversy and all of the negativity and all of the cooking show allegations are coming from. There's a lot of work to do here on the communication skills, on the flow, on the delivery. I don't think there's a problem on the substance part. Like, she's clearly smart, she can deliver, but just how she delivers it, there needs to be work on the performance, there needs to be work on the physique. So it is what it is, guys. The last part is, of course, the crowning moment. Honestly, we're not gonna go through all of the suspense because, I mean, we know the outcome of this, so I'm just gonna go ahead and
Gentlemen,
play it. I wanted to show you guys basically the photo that everyone was sharing in order to make fun of her was this moment where she's getting crowded by CJ.
once again, ladies and gentlemen, this is your new Miss Grand India 2.
This is the photo. What I'm telling you guys is, you see like how the face is so shiny. I wish there was someone just with a little powder, you know, like powder the girl's face, make sure that they look good for the final moments, especially like those who make the top 5 when they go back on stage and they're just waiting. Go ahead, powder, make sure that everything looks decent. You know, I'm not gonna beat around the bush and tell you guys that she is the best Miss India that was ever crowned. She isn't. But also, I want everyone to remember she is also a human being. The girl is exposed to your comments, to my comments, to everyone's comments. And I do think that she does have time to prepare for Miss Grand International. Will the expectation be really high? Yes. Is there going to be a lot of pressure on her? Yes. Why? Because not only she represents India, which is a pageant country, which is a sash factor country, but also because she is the successor of Rachel Gupta, who was such not only one of the most beautiful Miss Grand International winners, but also is a girl who started like this whole controversy that ended up happening with Miss Grand International 2024. So of course there's going to be a lot of eyeballs on her, there's going to be a lot of comparisons, and I hope that the girl is mentally prepared for what is to come. I hope that all of us as pageant fans can make it easier for her and at least find the kindness to not bash her, to not make her go through something that needs to be more complex than what she already has to face. To be honest, I wanted to take a moment also to kind of tell you guys my perspective on all of this, not thinking as a pageant fan, so I'm going to distance myself from the fandom and what I will think as a fan when it comes to the cooking shows and maybe, oh, she bought the crown, she got the money for this and that, this is why she was crowned, there are other more deserving girls. The question that I had, if I was on the national director's shoes right now, here's my question. Does the national director have any other pageant titles or crowns that he gives to the other girls? Because also from the director's perspective, listen, guys, I had to break it down to you, but India is not going to win Miss Grand International this year. And it's not just because of this girl. It can be anyone. Nawat will not give a back-to-back win to India, especially after what happened with Rachel. It's going to take years for India to win Miss Grand International. Maybe they can place if they send the right delegate. Maybe that they can do well in the competition, but I do not think personally that Nawat will find it in his heart to give the crown, the international title, to India once again, knowing damn well that the situation in the country is so hostile towards MGI. Most Indian pageant fans don't sit well with whatever happened with Rachel at Miss Grand International. They don't necessarily support the competition as they used to. A lot of the sponsors have backed out. A lot of the government institutions also don't have such a positive perception of Miss Grand in India because precisely the scandal that went down. So I don't feel like, as of right now, in Nawat's perception of what he looks for in a title holder, India is an option or an interesting country right away. So in a way, it doesn't really matter who he crowns. Why would he give his strongest girl, the best girl in a way, to Miss Grand International when he knows that she is not going to be a winner? He doesn't even know if she will be placed this year. So my question is, does he have other titles, other crowns where he can send his runner-ups that perhaps might have a better chance at doing well internationally, succeeding or winning internationally, and perhaps bring new titles, international crowns to India? So that will be my real question, honestly, my assessment. I don't know if this girl is rich. I don't know if she has the money to pay for a crown or whatnot. Again, I don't think that she is the worst representative that India had in the history of ever, as people are picturing it to be, but also she's not the strongest. She has work to do and things that she needs to address. So anyways, those were my 2 cents when it comes to Miss Grand India 2025. Let me know down below, what do you guys feel about this entire situation? Do you like the new winner? Do you support her? I don't know. Just express yourself down below. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share on social media. See you guys on the next one. Bye now. Okay, enough of me. Bye.